Build back better. They assumed that a general crisis for the needed transformation could be triggered by an unprecedented pandemic. The end goal was to achieve a world union with a world court and a world regulatory authority. Klaus had already started to educate leaders for transformation. This is in Klaus Schwab's own words.
And I have to say, when I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. Mm-hmm. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
In 1992, Schwab and the World Economic Forum had started the program Global Leaders of Tomorrow, with leaders like Angela Merkel, Nicolas Sarkozy, José Manuel Barroso from European Union, Gordon Brown and Tony Blair. In 2004, this program was morphed into a more ambitious 5-year program called Young Global Leaders. More than 4,000 leaders have been involved with these programs. Here are some examples. Sanna Marin from Finland, Emmanuel Macron, France, New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, Leonardo DiCaprio, Alicia Garza from Black Lives Matters, and Sebastian Kurz. Here, of course, the dynamic duo, Bill Gates and Justin Trudeau. Happy, smiling. They all talked with one voice. In 2005, the Young Global Leaders started the 2020 initiative to use scenario and vision exercises to understand current and future trends, risks and opportunities. Formulate a shared vision of the world in 2020 and create task forces to advance their vision. This was later renamed the 2030 Initiative. In 2006, World Economic Forum released their first global risks report. It stated that the risk of a pandemic flu was a dominant theme in the global conversation on risk, and that misinformation and infodemics could lead to a breakdown of trust. Both had to be countered. The same year saw the release of a military think tank RAND Corporation's report, Global Technological Revolution 2020. It predicted that RFID chips would be used to track products and people by 2020. In 2008, the global financial crisis hit the world. This became a trigger to reshape the system. In the middle of a crisis, World Economic Forum held its first summit on the global agenda in Dubai. The goal was to redesign the international system according to the needs of the 21st century. The world was, according to Schwab, in need of a fundamental reboot. It gave birth to a global brain trust. What have we heard this word before? The brain trust. Rockefeller Special Studies Project going global. The Global Agenda Council on the Future of Governments concluded in their reports that the current order had 4 governance gaps: lack of trust, lack of incentives, lack of institutions, and a lack of time. The governments were in danger of being irrelevant, and a new approach was needed. The solution was a digital Marshall Plan with e-governments to engage the citizens. Henry Kissinger wrote in New York Times that The ultimate challenge is to shape the common concern of most countries regarding the economic crisis, together with a common fear of jihadist terrorism, into a common strategy, reinforced by the realization that new issues like proliferation, energy and climate change permit no national or regional solution. Due to the crisis, G20, consisting of the world's 20 biggest economies, including Russia and China and the European Union, became the premier political forum to discuss and manage global problems. And you have probably seen this. In 2010, Rockefeller Foundation released the report Scenarios for the Future and International Development. It contained scenarios that discussed how the technological development could be furthered or hindered in the future. Lockstep discussed the possibility of a severe pandemic, hack attack, cyber warfare and resource shortages, and Clever Together, a united world that worked together to solve global problems. In 2015, United Nations Agenda 2030 with 17 global goals was decided. Schwab and the forum was well prepared. At the annual meeting in 2016, Klaus Schwab declared the fourth industrial revolution. Very satisfied. This is a plan to totally reshape the planet and humanity with digital technology, artificial intelligence, robots, technological brain enhancements, and surveillance from space. What a plan! The forum's shapers consists of the leading companies of the world. They engage in the forum's platforms. This is some of them that has paid the most to be on board and shape the global agenda. You can see some interesting companies and also foundations like Bill Gates and Wellcome Trust and Big Tech, of course. World Economic Forum's Board of Trustees consists of the most powerful interests of the world, especially the world of banking. Bank of England, Bank of America, European Central Bank, IMF, World Bank Group, Bank of China, Bank of International Settlements, and as late as 2019, the Russian Sberbank. These are the trustees of a material universe for future generations.